Okay, we're up to Nun Zayin Amid Beis. Nun Zayin Amid Beis, about 8 lines from the bottom. Okay, the Kohen Gadol has just finished his avodah of the dam. He did the dam of the dam of the par. He did the dam of the seir. He did the dam of the par. He did the dam of the seir. And the Mishnah says he spills. It pays to go back to see the lashon of the Mishnah, fellas. Right? That was a long Mishnah. Page Nun Gimel Amid Beis, the last line of the Mishnah, he says, "Iri dama par l'tech dam hasayer." He takes the dam of the par and he pours into the dam of the sayer. Then says, "V'nasenes hamole berekan." He puts the full in the empty. Well, that's an ambiguous statement. So what is he doing over here? Putting this. Why is he mixing the blood together? Like, what's going on over here? He's mixing the blood together. Oh, why is he mixing the blood together? What is he doing? So we're going to go to the final avodah Saddam on Yom Kippur is what they do on the Mizbeach HaZahav. On the Mizbeach HaZahav, we're going to see that the Kohen Gadol takes a mixture of the par of the seir and the par of the dam of the par and the dam of the seir mixed together, and he puts it on. First, he puts it on the corners of the Mizbeach HaZahav, and then he puts it on the top of the Mizbeach HaZahav proper. So that's what we're going to be discussing this evening. Yeah. So you should be discussing these. If you do have a phone with you and you want to go on Zoom, I will be going to this, but now you have time. It's on the Yom base. I have a chart that I did post, but of course I didn't make copies. It says that like the Mandi Yamu says, Ma'arvin Lekronis. Now we have machlokas. You want to do me a favor, Mendy? Just get this stand out of the way so I can see Avrami. I can't see.
Rabbi, where are we up to, please?
We're up to Nun Zayin Amid Beis. Nun Zayin Amid Beis. So Avrami, if you want to move over, if I could see you, because he's in the way. Like you stay right there, okay? No, Mendy, you just you just stay where you are. Okay, so now listen. There's two things. There is the putting of the blood on top of the kronos. There is a machlokus whether the dam is mixed with that. There's one opinion. First you put the dam of the par, then you put the dam of the seir separately. You would then mix them together and put them on the top of the mizbeach. So everyone admits the top of the mizbeach, it's mixed together. The machloikis is it mixed at the time of the nesinus al gabe the kronos. When it's put on the horns of the mizbeach hazav, is it mixed at that point in time. But on the top of the mizbeach, everyone agrees to that. So now, our Mishnah says that you mix the dam together before you put it on the kronos. Kimanda Omar me'arvin the kronos to itmar. Rabbi Yoshia of Rabbi Yonis. So you have machloikis guys between Rabbi Yoshia and Rabbi Yonis. Chad Omer ma'arvin, v'chad Omer ein ma'arvin. One says they mixed, and one says they didn't mix. Tistayim to say to Rabbi Yoshia, who the Omer ma'arvin. It's Rabbi Yoshia who says that they mixed. Omar afagav like siv yachtav kimandich siv yachtav dami. There's a machloikis throughout Shas between Rabbi Yishaya and Rabbi Yonis' son, like Sachar Shor v'Chamar. Right, Yachtov. When it goes out of way to tell you Yachtov means any other place where it doesn't say that they're together. Mashmois is that what they're either separate or together. That's the machloikis. Light Rabbi Yoshia, it's mashma both, or it's right. It's mashma or separate. Until the Torah tells you differently. Light Rabbi Yonason, no, I think I might have just told you the opposite. Let's see Rashi. I might have told you the opposite. Says Rashi, Dama afagav like sivyach, the full lines down. Titania, ish asher yikal les aviv esimo, a person who loyalenu shaltz, he curses his parents. Ein li ela aviv v'imai, both together. Aviv b'la imai, imai b'la aviv minayin. Tamleima aviv kilel imai kilel. Div Rabbi Yishia. Rabbi Yishia says, "I'm a mashma shneim kechu. The mashma kolecha v'yecha b'yatzma." Rabbi Yishia says, "It's mashma both. It's mashma separate." So yeah, I told you the opposite. Almol Rabbi Yoshia, Eloi Hodaksiv Aviv Imay Kilel Havamina Reisha de Crush Shneim Kecha. They're both together. Mashma. Hachanami Midama Por Midama Seir Shneim Kechad Mashma. It's Mashma both. Okay, it's Mashma both, and therefore to Stein Rabbi Yoshia who Damar Ma'arvin back in the Gemara Damar and Afagav like Siv Yachtov, even though it doesn't say Yachtov, Commander Siv Yachtov Dami, and therefore it's Mashma both. I feel the Rabbi Yonason, no, you have no raya. Rabbi Yonason also could agree that what Shani Hacha Dechsiv Achas. The pasuk says the Chipa Armonis Karnoisav Achas Bashana It's a pasuk that the Arvain when mechaper on the Kronis one time it says the word achas mashma together tzazamin. So we have a pasuk that even Rabbi Yonis would agree you put them together. So you're not limited to saying Rabbi Shai is the Tan of the Mishnah. The Mishnah can come out l'kuli alma. It can even be according to Rabbi Yonis in both of them because it is achas meaning tzazamin together. The blood can be together of the tar of the par and the seir. Tanya deloy kishinuyin. We have a brisa that's not like this teretz. In other words, we have a brisa like the Havamina that is only according to Rabbi Yeshua. It says v'lokach midam par umidam soyer. He takes from the dam of the par and from the dam of the soyer. Sheyimu uravim. They should be mixed together. Divrei Rabbi Yeshua often says openly, says Rabbi Yeshua, they are mixed together. Rabbi Yonis and Aimer. Mazeh b'fnei atzmai, umazeh b'fnei atzmai, umizeh b'fnei atzmai, umizeh b'fnei atzmai. Mazeh is separately different, so therefore clearly, like we said in the Reisha, it's only according to Rabbi Yeshua when the Mishnah says that Iru, the dam of the par and the dam of Sarah together, it's according to Rabbi Yeshua, because according to Rabbi Yonasan, you could put them on, you should put them on separately. Amal Rabbi Yeshua, how could you say you put them on separately? Like Nemar achas. Again, the pasuk that we use to say that Rabbi Yonasan could agree for Chiper Aaron al Kanis Achas Bashana, right? In the teretz, you wanted to say that Rabbi Yonasan can hold both together. So what does Rabbi Yonasan, who says both separately, right? What does he do with the Achas? What does he do with the pasuk that Mashma should be together? And for the Gemara, Rabbi Yonasan, but like for Neman Bidam Hapar and Bidam Asoyer, Mashma separately. So in Cain, Lama Nema Achas, Lama Achas V'Shtayim. It says one and not two. You put on one and and not two. You put on one daubing and not two daubings. It's a little fair to think you need two daubings. Okay, there's a Tosfos Yishanim. It says achas v'shtayim midam apar. I'm not exactly sure where it is. On my Gemara, it's nun ches lamed beis. Listen to this, guys. I'm talking about the chisal kedaitach sheyitin shtayim shel I'll call Karen. You have a half a minute. You put two bloods on one Karen. That you need a pasuk to say midam asar midam achas achas, meaning achas doesn't mean the blood is together. It means achas one putting on. It doesn't mean they should be together. Achas means once and not twice. Why would you have a havamina to put it on twice? Right? It makes no sense. Fred Gemara. Why would you need a pasuk to say achas? You only put on one daubing. We're calling daubings, right? It's an art school word. One daubing. Why would you think that you could put two? It doesn't make any sense. So, and for Tosfos Yishanim, the Mari Kigoin Shenishbach Dam Apar VeHevi Acher. You started, and the dam, and what happened is it spilled, and you got to finish the avodah. So what you bought another one. Shlo Yasel El Mimakam Shepasak. That you start. You don't have to restart the daubings. You start from the place you finished. So in other words, I put on one keren. I don't have to do all four. I can do just three. You did two kronos before it spilled, you do two. So that's the havamina. Not a havamina that you want to go ahead and have to lichatchila put two. I would think that since it's spilled, maybe you should go ahead and redo all the Mizbeach Hazav daubings, Kamash Malon, Achas, no, one and a two. So that's the way the Tosfos Yishanim was learning Peshat in this Gemara. That's a very nice Peshat. Or else it's very shvelach with such a havamina that you need two. So achas v'shtayim, meaning to teach me that you start from where you finished, even though it's spilled. Midam apar. This says, I didn't read. Let's finish reading it. Achas lemilcha achas v'shtayim midam apar achas v'shtayim midam aser. Tanya idach, another brisa, a dialogue between the two. V'lokach midam apar and midam aser sheyumu urm zeh b'zeh. They should be mixed together like Rabbi Yeshua. Each one separately. Only once together. The susma Rabbi Yeshua and all stomach Rabbi Yeshua. See machlokes guys on the keren when you're doing the avodas adam on the mizbeach hazav. Do you need one? Says Rabbi Yeshua separately. It says Rabbi Yeshua together, mixed together as one. Says Rabbi Yonasan what separately. But again, just to keep in mind, when you do the tiharoi on the mizbeach proper on its top, you're going to put 7 sprinklings. Then that's going to be mixed together. That's going to be mixed together.
They brought two, according to the one you mixed together when you were on the mizbeach, when you already did. You brought 2 buckets, so to speak.
You have Well, you need 3. You need a third.
So you brought them up separate buckets of blood, one for the power, one for the sayer. when you brought up.
I'm not exactly sure what you're talking. You have a there's no buckets. You have a cleat. Okay, you have a cleat full of paradam. You have a cleat full of seir dam.
Right, so it's
Mixed.
two.
So if you want to mix it together, you bring a third one and you pour it together.
I shep your office.
Or
So somebody helped, there was a cigar who brought it up from help.
Uh,
I'm just saying
mechanically, I don't know. Mechanically, someone.
Versus bringing up one.
Well, I would think
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
It could be that there wasn't a sagan. It could be that you went like this, right? Then there's a can over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. Anyway, nasan esamoli berekan. So what do we say, fellas? He mixed it together, and then he put the full in the empty. The Gemara is going to ask a very interesting question, and wanting to be poished from this, you're putting the full in the empty. Boy minei Romi bar Chama mirav Tista. Heiniach mizrak b'toich mizrak. V'kibo boyasadam. Now we've all had the experience of trying to get out a plastic cup from a plastic cup, especially if you buy the cheap brand. It's almost impossible to get them out, correct? Yes, you use your teeth, and right. Okay, we all had that experience. Good. Now, what happens if you be makabel dam in that? Would that be considered a chatzitza or not? I'm holding the outside cup. There's an inside cup, and I'm holding one kli. There seems to be an insert in the other. Do we say min v'minoi, and therefore it's one, or no? Do we say it's a chatzitza? That's the marshal. So boy minei roim merchama merchista hiniach mizrak b'toich mizrak. You leave one kli in the other one. The kibo boyas hadam, and you receive the dam mahu. In other words, guys, this is not a din that's limited to Yom Kippur. This is a universal question about Kabbalah. Is that considered a Kabbalah or not? We know the second shchita Kabbalah lachas weekend that's coming out of your head already, right? And then, God, you got to finish. There's two things you got to finish. You got to know the 4 avodas hadam. You got to know 5 chata shemesa, right? Those are you got to know that. Now, so you go ahead. You do a Kabbalah, but however, it's one kli within the other kli. Is that considered good or not? Look at the top Rashi, guys. Don't think it's a shiloh that's limited to Yom Kippur. This is in Yiddish, we say an amalgamated shiloh. It's a shiloh, universal shiloh. Min b'minoi chaytzeitz. Min b'minoi is that a chatzitza? Ayena chaytzeitz. That's a shiloh. Now, why would you ask it over here? Because apparently from our Mishnah, you can bring a raya that it's not a chatzitza, because it says you're putting the mole in the reikon. Mashma, you're putting a kli full of blood into an empty kli, right? Now, so I'm a late tenisua. Nasan es hamale berekon. You put the mole into the empty one. My love that hoishiv mizrak mole, the tech mizrak rekom. You're taking a full canister of blood and putting it into what? One that's empty. And then you're doing, so obviously it's so Kabbalah. So I don't know, why is this a good Kabbalah? Say it's not a Shiloh Kabbalah. Let me ask you a kasha. I just thought of it now. Your Kabbalah was done at the time of what? When you did the Shechita, a long time ago. So why would it be a raya from here?
Because you're holding on to the thing, to the blood and pouring.
But I'm saying, in other words, if it's not a chatzitza over here, it won't be chatzitza by Kabbalah either. Why would you be chatzitza over here? Because it's an avoida. It's an avoida. Any avoida, you can't be chatzitz, right? Right, yes, to be careful. You can't. Right, exactly. Oh, very good. The Gemara's going to bring that in. Yeah. Okay. Good. I'm just fearing the thought process. Good. So now, says the Gemara, Lav hoishim mizrak mole l'teich mizrak loy ira mizrak mole l'teich mizrak reikam. You're speaking that you poured a full one into the empty one. So you're not putting a kli into another one. You're pouring one into the other. But it just said before you poured it already, guys. That's why I had you look back at the Mishnah. Iru esa a part of the Seir. Hatani le'reisha iru dam apral dam Seir. I don't know if there's a third kli yet. Could be just pouring it into, Anyway, bottom line is you got a kasha. How could you tell me that it's not a good raya that you're pouring it, right? You already poured. Says the Gemara, Kedei la'arav yafa yafa. No raya. You're pouring it a second time, right? If you ever want to aerate wine, so let's say you don't you open it up like 2 minutes before Shabbos, and it's not going to. So what do? Put it in your glass and you pour it back and forth. And that at distance, and that button that goes ahead and takes the air out. Things you learn and share. Now, so Over here, it's very geschmack, guys. So good. So no raya, right? No raya. It's just that's also blood into blood. It's not speaking about kli into kli. You can't go ahead and bring as a raya. Toshma. Hayu al gabi here. Yankel's Gemara. Hayu al gabi kli. The kohen's doing the avodah. He's standing on top of a kli that's on the floor. Oyal gabi regel chaveroi. On top of the regel of his friend. Puzzle. Now, his friend's foot is what? Is flesh. His foot is flesh. Min b'minoi is chaytzitz. So we can bring a raya that what? If you can't put one kli into another kli. Says we have no raya. Shiny regel loy masim avatolei. This guy's not, the guy has his foot is saying, I'm giving you my foot. He's not giving you his foot. So in other words, that's why it's considered chatzitza. Mashenkin over here, your act is being mevatel the kli. Ken zayin, you would say min v'minoi what is batel.
I think his own foot is his own foot.
No, this is his foot of his friend.
His own foot is less of a problem because
I think his own foot might have been a problem. You have to see the Gemara in Tzvachim. They're a different shaila. Derech sheris bekach, like ain't derech sheris bekach. In other words, min b'minoi is not chaytzis, guys. It's not a chatzitza. One kli and another kli is not a chatzitza. Not a chatzitza. So what's the shaila? If derech sheirus bekach, if this normal way to go ahead and do the avodah or not, is this considered sheirus or not? It's right. It doesn't seem to be a normal way, and therefore it's not acceptable. Toshma, the Tanna Rabbi Shmuel, it's learned in the Yeshiva Rabbi Shmuel. The pasuk says as kol kli hasheirus, which is lashon rabbim, guys. Asher yishor subam, that they will serve it with it, like kodesh, and the kodesh. That's what the pasuk says. It's mashma 2 kalim and 1 avodah. Shnei kalim b'sheres achas. So mashma, guys, what? That you could do it. According to this, you could do it. According to this, 2 kalim. How can you have 2 kalim and 1 avodah? There must be 1 kli and the other kli, and therefore you would have a good raya. Okay, now there's gonna be another shaila.
Well, why couldn't it be that he just poured, that it meant he poured from one into the other? Why do we have to say that? Why is that a raya? Maybe it's not one in the other. He poured one into the other.
What do you mean? Where does it say that?
They're making an assumption that he had one kli in the other.
Because he's doing an avodah. Pouring one kli into the other is not an avodah.
It just says lashon rabbin. Lashon rabbin could be 2 separate kalim.
I don't understand. So it's telling me that you need a pasuk to tell me that you could use 2 kalim to pour one into the other. That's not an avodah. Sheirus yishosu has to be an avodah, Rabbi. So obviously it's speaking about Kabbalah. The pour from one to the other is not an avodah, right? Good. In other words, so it must be the 2 is an avodah. Why would the avodah be? It will be a Kabbalah. That's how it would be. Okay. Good. Okay. Anyway, boy mine roy barcham mer chista. Heiniach siv b'toich hamizrach. You leave like we've met siv throughout Shas. That's that hairy stuff that grows around the palm tree. Bast, cedar bat, no, palm bast, right? Palm bast. Okay. Now here you put it in, and you did a Kabbalah. Okay, what's the shaila? Whether it's chatzitza or not? Pashtus, I say it is a chatzitza. Why? It's min b'shein aminai. Why wouldn't it be chatzitza? Because it's porous. It's porous, and the blood can be considered as if, since it's porous, it can be considered you do the Kabbalah b'kli. That the blood is touching the walls of the kli. That's the chor of the shaila. Boy mine Rabbi Barcham Mefchista. Hiniach siv b'toich hamizrach. You put a sieve into the mizrach for kibbutz bayas adam, and you do Kabbalah adam. So mahu min b'shein amina chaytzeitz, and therefore it's not a good Kabbalah. V'yeina chaytzeitz. Why? Kibin the mechalchel, since it's porous, leichayitz. Aydil malashna. In other words, do we look at the physical piece, and it's not a min, and therefore it's a chatzitza? Or we do look at its physical attributes. In other words, it's going to stop the blood from touching the walls of the kli. That's what is the shaila, right? If I put a piece of lead in there, a lead wall in there, it's a chatzitza, right? It's min b'shein amino, it's chaytz, it's not over here. However, the fact that it's ein amino may not be a chatzitza because the blood is going to get get into the walls of the kli. Since it gets to the walls of the kli, it could be considered a good Kabbalah.
Like a filter, it's like a filter.
A shleina. Says the Gemara, Amalei, Tanina, you learned the answer. You learned the answer by paraduma. So what happens? Here's the shayla, guys. We're picking up in the middle. You will makabel the water of the paraduma in a kli, and there's a sponge in the kli. Clearly, the sponge is what is a chatzitza, right? It's a chatzitza. So the halacha is anything that's above the sponge is good. Any water that's in the sponge is not considered is not good. The water that's in the sponge is not good, right? Because you need mayim chayim el keli, and it's not. You need it has to touch the walls of the kli. So what do? You drain it. You drain it until you get to the svug. So here, zoylif, you draw off the water, v'hoylech, ad shemagil svug. So you have a raya that it's a chatzitza, right? You have a raya that it's a chatzitza. Good. No, it's not a chatzitza. It's not a chatzitza. No. Listen here. You have a raya when you're putting it in that the water on top is good. If it was a chatzitza, then nothing would be good, right? If a chatzitza, nothing would be good. So over here, the fact that it goes through will be good. Says the Gemara. Let's see Rashi in this. It's a long Rashi. Let's pick it up in the middle. Pick it up. The mayim shebesvug psulin. The mayim that's in the sponge is puzzle. The chayim el keli beinin. You need chayim el keli. Mayim chayim el keli. Sheyu a mayim noigim bekli. Kates it away. So what should he do? Kishibol litlas hamayim. The lit name bitsluchis. When he has to take the water to put in a flask, bushayferes or some type of straw. Zoylif v'goymes kol hamayim asher beshukas. He goes ahead and he drains all the water till he gets to the svug. And shoyfech adamatzli, whatever that is, kedamina moed cotton. Zoylif v'goyme kedarkei alma svug loy chayetz loy pasel el hanevloyim b'sleichai who adin l'siv. So it wouldn't be considered chatzitza. It would only pasel that's in it. So in other words, the blood in the sieve you won't be able to use, the water in the sieve you won't be able to use. But you see, it's not considered a chatzitza because if it was a chatzitza, you won't get the first base, right? You can use anything. Good. And for the Gemara, shiny mayim the klisha. Now mayim is different. Mayim is very, very, very. It goes right through. It goes right, and it goes right through, and therefore it's not considered what a chatzitza. However, dam, which has, unless you're on a lot of blood thinners, has some types of thickness to it, and therefore it would be considered. You have no raya. Ikudiyami, no hachi pashalei. The dam kosher. Enachinami by dam it's kosher. B'koim it's pasal. In other words, guys, when you do a kabbalah on the dam, that bash that's in there would be considered, would be okay. It would not. Masha'en kain, I guess it's because it's porous. Masha'en kain, where you take a chamitza and you put it in a kli, you have to put a mamish into the kli, and therefore, if you have a piece of bast in there, it would be considered chatzitza. But enachinami would be okay. Okay, now he's coming out with the blood, and he's going to the mizbeach hachitzain. Now, where is he coming out from, guys? There's two possibilities, guys. Two possibilities. He's coming out from the south. Picture Bayasheni, the left side, right? The left side, south. Walked to the north and went this way. That was one opinion. Tanakama. Remember, he walked between the menorah. We walked between the menorah and the mizbeach, and he went in the left. That's the south. And then he came all the way to the right and came around. Good. That was one opinion. Then we had the opinion of Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi says he walked between the shulchan and the wall directly into the north because from the north. So keep that in mind. Like this machloikis tanoim is where exactly the opening was. Was it opening in the south or opening in the north? Good. It says v'yotze el mizbeach hashel v'nei Hashem. The pasuk says the kohen comes out to the mizbeach that's in front of Hashem. Zeh mizbeach hazov. That's the mizbeach hazov. Because the mizbeach of the Choshes is not in front of Hashem; it's in the Azara. Hischel machta v'yored. He begins to go ahead, and daub. Now, how do you daub? Do you daub like this, or do you daub like this? Now, watch. If you would daub like this, there's a point where you go like this. The blood may come down. So you go in a motion. You don't go in upward motion. You go with downward motion. You're going down because you want to ensure that his clothing doesn't get dirty, right? So. Hischel machta v'yored begins the daubing and going down. Mehechenu maskal. Where does he begin from? He begins mikerim mizrachis sefinis. He begins from the north. He begins in the northeast. Sfenis Ma'aravis northwest. Ma'ariv Droimis southwest, and Droimis Mizrachis southeast. Malkum Shu Maskal B'chatas al Mizbech HaChitzoin, the place where he begins on Mizbech HaChitzoin, which is southeast. Misham Hayagoyna. That's where we would go complete al Mizbech HaPnimi on Mizbech HaPnimi. Rabbi Eliezer says, "Them Koma Hoya Omeid." Again, Mizbech Hazav is an amma by an amma, guys. It was 2 feet by 2 feet. You didn't have to walk. He would just go ahead, stand in one spot, umachta, and he would. And now it's not. Now you can go directionally. You can go out. You can go up. You go up because you're not worried. Except the one opposite you, that one you'd have to go down. Umachta about kulin hayanaisim umatal. All of them would go from the top to above. Chutz misu. The one he's opposite him, shahayel lefanav shayanaisim umayel lamata. He go from the top to the bottom. It's not the dirtiest clothing. He's ala tirish on mizbeach sheva pamim. He'll be mazer on the Torah of the mizbeach sheva times. We'll see what that is. Ushiyari adam and all the leftover blood. Hayishayfich hayisoid ma'aravi shel mizbeach achitzain, will be spilled in the western yisoid of the outside mizbeach shel mizbeach achitzain, and all the blood that was put on the mizbeach achitzain. Hayishayfich hayisoid dromi will put on the southern foundation. Elu ve'elu, the overflow, they would flow on the floor. Miss Arvin, ba'ama, they would go ahead and get mixed. They put it in the amma, that was the canal that ran through the Beis Hamikdash. V'yoytzel nacha Kidroin, it would go to the valley of Kidroin. The nimcharim legananim, they would sell it to the gananim, to the farmers. Lezevel, as fertilizer. U'moilin behen, and there be a dinah me'ilah. This is dinah me'ilah d'Rabbanan, because anything that you did the mitzvah already, you can't be moil midaraisa. In other words, you would not have to pay Karen with Chaimish on this. You wouldn't have to bring a carbon on. You might pay Karen, but Chaimish, you wouldn't have to bring a carbon on this. It's only Mila Darabanan. It's only rabbinic in nature, because again, you did the mitzvah. Anything that you did the mitzvah is not the Mila. It's good. What? Why not? What's cash is cash. Come on, cash is king, baby. Okay, so now it says v'yotza el mizbech hachitzon. You go out to mizbech hachitzon. Okay, ma tamid loimer. So,
which way they split?
what do you mean?
Maybe doesn't up down going to the money.
Seems to be. It seems to. I don't know if it's ma'akiv, but I'm not sure it's ma'akiv, but I don't know. It says chukah. If it says chukah in the Indian, it might be ma'akiv. It might be. It says chukah in all the avodah of Yom Kippur. So if this is part of avodah of Yom Kippur, it could be ma'akiv. I know just without any knowledge, just guessing, I would tell you it is. So it says chukas, and it's an avodah. So just like the order sometimes is ma'akiv, and so I'm sure, again. Ma tamalayim. Rab Nechemya, I don't know, you could be yotze one nesina by chatas if you do one, but chatas panimius, it could be you need all of them. We have machlekes, right? I'm saying right. We said that by most kabbanis, you do one, you're good. Except the chatas panimius is not. You need chatas chenis. Right? If you do one, I think it's good. Okay, I might be wrong, but I think only chatas panimius. I might be wrong. Check it out. So it says the power that becomes all mitzvahs. Power hom davar. Shekoin oimed chutz l'mizbeach. You hear this, guys? He stands on the other side of the mizbeach. Umazer ala paroiches, and he throws on the paroiches. B'shoshu umazer. In other words, the mizbeach he's throwing this probably a good close to 40 feet or 35 feet. Because listen, we know that the Mizbeach HaZahav was recessed farther up towards the Heichal than the menorah and the Shulchan, right? He's got to throw it towards what? Right? So can you imagine if I had a guess, right? What Rebbe Elazar in Rome saw, it would be because chances of landing exactly instead of not, on the thing. So it's interesting that he had to throw it. Yeah. Zach. But so he had it, guys. He had to throw it from in front of. And he's in. Picture me. Here's the curtain. Mendy's the curtain. This is my Gemara's the Mizbeach. He'd have to throw it from here. We're supposed to Yom Kippur. He's right in front of Mendy. He's right in front of the Broiches. So says the Gemara. B'shoshu masa yachlav zeh kain tamid leimar v'yotzel mizbeach. He goes out to the mizbeach. Heichen hu, where is he? Lifnim in a mizbeach. Where is that? That's in the fnim. He's coming out lifnim in a mizbeach, right? So v'yotza el mizbeach. Tanidach lifnei Hashem atam leimar amar b'nechem l'kish matzina b'par b'seir sheyam kippurim. Shekoin oim lifnim in a mizbeach. The kohen stands inside the mizbeach. Umazal aproiches. B'shoshu mazah yochelav zeh kain. I might think the par helam davar also. Tamid leimar mizbeach k'toras asamim l'fnei Hashem. Hashem ba'oil moed. Mizbeach l'fnei Hashem ve'in kohen l'fnei Hashem. The mizbeach. So this is by a par of helam davar. It's a mizbeach k'toras asamim l'fnei Hashem. By one of those mizbeach, it says either that or kohen Mashiach. It says l'fnei Hashem. Ve'in kohen l'fnei Hashem. Okay, it said oimid chutz mizbeach umazah. In other words, the ikad army. In the first lashon, it's stelling on the mizbeach of the kabbanis of Yom Kippur. In the second lashon, it's stelling on the mizbeach helam dava, par helam dava. So again, fascinating idea. Fascinating idea. Hischul machta b'yari. Turn rabbanon. Hischul machta b'yari. Mehechenu. Okay, so I'm gonna. Again, I'm sorry I didn't go on your Zoom, guys. If you have it, I'm going to post it. This is a very helpful chart. This is a very, very helpful chart. Okay, I'll let you in. Yeah, I have it. I have. Oh, you can take a picture. Yeah, take a picture and send it out. Okay, take a picture of WhatsApp and send it out. Very good, good. Okay, he's taking a picture and sending. And you don't have to go into Zoom. It's even better.
We don't have any noise coming back.
Okay, guys, you see?
Yes, we see fine.
Yehuda, you good? Got it, good. Avram, you got it? Got the picture?
Me and Mendy are looking at.
Okay, so watch. There's machlokus over here. The black is Rabbi Akiva and the red is Rabbi Yossi Galili. So now, Rabbi Akiva, he says you start, number one, you start in southeast, then you go clockwise, you go to southwest, then you go northwest, and you conclude in northeast. Good? Whereas Rabbi Yossi Galili goes the opposite. He says you start in northeast, you go counterclockwise, and you end up in southeast. Right? You see it? So the place where Rabbi Akiva started, Rabbi Yossi Galili ended. Good? What is this contingent upon? Where exactly you came out from? Rabbi Akiva says, fellas, you came out from the south, the bottom. You see, I put there, Rabbi Akiva. So when you came out in the bottom, so really, really you should start at number 2, because that's the first one in Eim Avir Al Mitzvahs, correct? But it says V'yotza El Mizbeach. It means you got to go out beyond the Mizbeach. The pasuk says you have to go up beyond the Mizbeach, so he has to go to part 1 because he has to go beyond the Mizbeach. So notice both Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yossi Galili are starting on the east side, right? They're both starting on the east side because you have to go beyond the Mizbeach. Once you began there, why does he go to number 2? It's very interesting, guys. Why don't we say Kol Pinish at the point El Yamin? We always go counterclockwise. Remember, when you go up to the Mizbeach, you go to the first, you're going to end up in the southeast, right? And go around. So he says, because you were marvel on the mitzvahs. You really should have done number 2 first. The only reason you did number 2 first, right, is because of V'yatzim Mizbeach. So you went back to the place that you were marvel first. And then once you by number 2, you went to 3 and 4. Geschmack. That's svara. Whereas Rabbi Yossi Galili says no. Kol Pinish at the point El Yamin. He goes clockwise. It's a good try. You'll see the Gemara, guys, and now the Gemara goes shmir. Okay, you'll see the Gemara goes shmir. Okay, says the Gemara. Tanraban. Hischil machta v'yoyrid mehechen oyimaschil mikerem mizrachish droimis. He begins from southeast. Droimis maravis southwest. Maravis finest northwest. Finest mizrachis south northeast. This is Rabbi Akiva. These are Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Yossi Galili Omer. Rabbi Yossi Galili says no. I think I just read that wrong. I just read that wrong. Okay, it's southeast, southwest, northeast, northwest. Rabbi Yossi Galili Omer. Mikarim Mizrachis finest. He begins from northwest. Finest Maravis northeast. He begins northeast. Finest Maravis northwest. Maravis Droim is southwest. Droim is Mizrachis southeast. Rabbi Yossi Galili Maskil. Rabbi Yossi Galili began in northeast. Shom Rabbi Akiva Poisik. That's where Rabbi Akiva stops. It's clear on your chart. The 4 and the 1, right? Rabbi Akiva Maskil. Shom Rabbi Yossi Galili Poisik, right? 4-1-1-4. Very geschmack. the Kuli Alma Mia, about who carrying the Pugga Bereshal of it. No, the one they're meeting first, guys, in the west. They're coming out, they're hitting the west side, right? But they both hold on the east. Guys, they're both starting from the east, correct? So therefore, why is that? My time, I'm a Shmuel. Damakra, v'yotza el mizbeach, adenafik mikul mizbeach. It says v'yotza. In other words, you have to go ahead, and the only way to be on the mizbeach to be on the east side, because the west side, right, is you didn't go out, you didn't go in and transverse the mizbeach. Okay, good, great. I know you got to start in the east, good, right? So where Kiva, start at the southeast and go northeast and go in counterclockwise using our rule called Pinash at the Paina, Ein Eliyamin, right? Lema b'derami v'rechesel kumifiki. Let's suggest the machloikis between Rabbi Yossi Aglili and Rabbi Kiva is whether you have to go west, whether you have to go yamin, which is counterclockwise, or clockwise. Dama rami v'rechesel yam shas shleima made a yam. Yeah, yam shleima, right? It had this mikvah, and the mikvah oimid al shnei masa baka. It stood on 12 cattle, and 12 cattle. There were four rows of three. There were 4 rows of 3, and on them they faced outwards, and the backside was towards the middle of the basin there. But what are we going to learn from there? We're going to learn the order, and the order they give is what is counterclockwise. So we're going to learn Pinash at the Paina Ein Ella Yamin. I'm al Shnei Masa Bakash Shleisha Painim Tzfaina, 3 facing the north. Shleisha Painim Yoma. Okay, guys, north. Yoma is west. Shleisha Painim Negba is south. Shleisha Painim Mizracha east. You're going what? Counterclockwise. Going counterclockwise. V'hayaleim el Maila v'chol achareim Besa, and all their backsides was what to in Holomarata. You see from here by the fact that it's the way it counts north and then the north and going west, south, and east is Holomarata Shekol Pinash at the Paina layu ela derech yamin lemizrach. So Mar Islay during Icheskel, Rabbi Yossi Glili holds Rami Bar Cheskel, and therefore, if you look at the chart, he's going counterclockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, he's starting southeast, he's going to southwest, northeast, northwest. And Umar Leslie and Rabbi Akiva, who's going what clockwise, Rabbi Akiva is going clockwise, right? Leslie during Yecheskel. So like the Kulialma Islu during Yecheskel, they all hold around by Yecheskel. V'hacha b'hakamifti Maso Yaninin Panimim b'chutz, right? Rabbi Yosef Glili holds we learn the inside from the outside, just like the outer Mizbeach called Pinash at the Paina and El Yamin. The kohen goes up to do the avodah. Any carbon that he's going to bring. He goes first to the southeast, then he goes to the northeast, and so forth. He's going counterclockwise. So too the Mizbeach Hazav will be in the same direction as the Mizbeach HaChitzon. Umasava, and Rabbi Akiva says, Lo yalfin panim v'chutz. Rabbi Akiva says, you don't learn panim v'chutz, and therefore, okay. So in other words, I have an other way of explaining their machlokes, right? In other words, they taka agree. In other words, if Akiva would agree on the Mizbeach HaChitzon, you do go ahead counterclockwise. The question is on the inner Mizbeach, do you learn that or not? That's the machlokes between the two. If Akiva and Hidla Yolef Panim Mechutz, Iboy Haki Navid, Iboy Haki Navid. So question. So you don't learn from the outside, right? You don't learn. Why would you go negative? If you have nothing that is forcing the issue, why not? What do you say? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So if the outside one, you go counterclockwise. In the inside, it's not like he has a limud, guys. It's not like he has a limud to go clockwise. Why, if he had his druthers, why don't you just go ahead and go the same way on the outside? Even if you don't learn panim and bechutz, good, there's no limit for it. But why is Rabbi Akiva dafka going clockwise? Why? So you know the answer. Because you skipped over the mitzvah. You started right. So now. Medina who Karen the Paga Beresha, who of Beresha, the one he meets first, he should do first. Guys, take a look at the chart. Which one does he meet first?
Number 2.
Black 2. I'm sorry, black 2. I can't say that word. Shachar 2. Right? Why? He holds you coming out of the south, guys. What? No. I feel it aim on my 11 gespielt das. Blackjack, yeah. But now, so guys, watch. He's meeting, he comes out of the south, according to Rabbi Kiva. The first place he's meeting is southwest, number 2, on the right. Why doesn't he do it? Says the Amrish Lakish, Ema Virin ala mitzvahs. You're not supposed to pass over a mitzvah. So really, you should have done number 2, right? You should have done southwest. V'mailoi Ovid, why didn't you do that? Mishum dechsiv v'yotza el mizbeach. Adinofik mikul mizbeach v'kivin diyohiv bahu keren hadasi lahu keren dechayv l'mesa bereisha. Right? Since what? Since he should have done number 2 first, he went to do number 1 to be yotze to the pasuk. But what did he do? He returned to the place that he should have done first. So we'll stop over here.
It's nothing to do with the right side of the Kaddish Baruch Hu, what that is just-
There's no Hasidic area. This is just simple. This is not Hasidic stuff. Right side, left side, no. Zero.